We have a little voice in our heads. Sometimes that little voice is helpful, sometimes it is unhelpful. And how that little voice talks to us is dependent upon our beliefs and values. Now, I'm not going to talk about values, but I am going to touch on beliefs. Now, this is how you can tell that you have a belief that is not serving you. If there is an action you should be doing, an action or a task that you should be doing, if that action or task is of benefit to you, if that action or task is not illegal, and if you're not going to get hurt in any way, and if you're hesitating in carrying out that action or task, or you're talking yourself out of it, then the chances are you have a belief that isn't serving you. So let's put this into the real world. You might be in a meeting, for instance. Somebody might say something in this meeting, and you think to yourself, that's not right. No, I should say something. And as you're about to speak up, you hesitate. For whatever reason, you don't do anything, you back off, you leave it alone. Later on, something happens, and you think, if only I'd said something at the time, I wish I'd said something at the time. Ever been in that position? That's a situation that is of benefit to us. It's not illegal, we're not going to get hurt, and yet we're hesitating in carrying out that action. We're talking ourselves out of it. That's because we have a belief that isn't serving us. And the beliefs that don't serve us are usually based on fear. Now, I'm not talking about the kind of fear where we're quaking in our boots. I'm talking about the kind of fear that makes us hesitant and cautious. And the two biggest fears in the workplace are the fear of failure and the fear of rejection. There are all sorts of fears, but in the workplace, fear of failure and the fear of rejection are the two biggest fears. And they are just smoke screens that our minds create. Let me explain. Here's the science of it. In our heads, there's an area called the amygdala, the reptilian brain. Inside there is our instinct for survival. That's our prime directive, survival. When it comes to survival, far better to be hesitant and cautious than it is to be bold and brave. So unless we overcome that thinking in some way, we will always be, our default way of thinking is to be hesitant and cautious. And that fear is there to protect us. I want to cross the road. That's great. Is it of benefit to me? Yes. Is it legal? No. Could I get hurt here? You see how that works? Would you like to know how to overcome that fear? Nobody has ever thought of this before. This is cutting-edge stuff.